Okay, I think we can jump in. Natalie, is it recording? Oh, I see it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll keep admitting people as they join.
Okay, thanks everybody for joining today's event. We're going to spend some time talking with joint NetSuite and BTM Global customer Bronner's Christmas Wonderland around how they've improved their business operations with NetSuite and with BTM Global. My name's Haley. I'm going to be kicking off the event today. I work at NetSuite and I run our Alliance and SDN marketing initiatives with our great partners like BTM Global. In case you're not familiar with NetSuite, we are the first cloud ERP with over 27,000 customers across 200 countries across the world. I'll just run through a few housekeeping items really quick before I hand it over to Armand. As you guys can see, today's event is being recorded. All of your lines will be muted. So if you have any questions for our panelists during today's event, please submit those in the chat and we'll save a couple of minutes at the end to run through those. As all of you probably saw when you signed up, everyone that is here today will get a $15 gift card to Bronner's Christmas Wonderland. So look forward to an email from us after the event with a link to that gift card. And with that, I will pass it over to our host, Armand, to run through some quick intros and then jump into our interview with our great customer.
Great, thank you very much. My name is Armand Nelson. I work for BTM Global. I'm the Director of Strategy, and I have a long history in being in retail. I started at age 16 with JCPenney's, worked in groceries for about 15 years, and then worked in the sporting goods retailer for about 19 years after that before joining BTM. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So to kick us off, can you give us a brief background on yourself and your company? We'll start with Scott.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, whatever it may be. My name is Scott Miller. I'm the IT manager with Bronner's Christmas Wonderland. We're the world's largest Christmas store, located in a tourist destination town in Frankenmuth, Michigan. And we have about over 2 million guests per year come through our front doors here. So we have a rather large brick and mortar, kind of the Cabela's of Christmas. Our sales room space is about 96,000 square feet, which is about 1.5 football fields full of space. So it's quite large, and it's a Christmas wonderland for sure. But we also have other channels as well. We have a catalog business. We have a printed catalog, and we send probably about 3 million catalogs out a year. We have an online business as well, which is one of the faster growing segments, obviously, of the business. And then we also have a wholesale division that sells to other retailers that are selling our unique products, and a commercial business that sells to cities and malls around the countries. And I've been in the retail trade for about 36 years now, all of that with Bronner's.
All right, thanks, Scott. Jill, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks. Good afternoon or morning, whatever it may be for you. I am Jill Catterfeld. I'm the account manager here at Bronner's Christmas Wonderland. I've been here about 6.5 years. I have a CPA license, and prior to working for Bronner's, I worked in a regional CPA firm for about 10 years. And I was born and raised here in Frankenmuth. And Scott Miller, myself, our 2 other IT team members, and then 2 vice presidents made up our project team for our implementation of NetSuite.
Excellent. For the bulk of today's conversation, we're going to be discussing your ERP journey. Bronner's selected NetSuite in spring of 2019, and they implemented their retail premium ERP product, Suite Commerce, and also Suite Commerce In-Store, which is NetSuite's POS. Can you give us an idea of what were the key business drivers for your ERP evaluation?
Sure, yes. Number one, we wanted a complete view into our digital and physical operations. We also wanted to provide a continuous shopping experience for our customers, whether they chose to shop online, in-store, or buy online and pick up in-store. As Scott mentioned, we have several different parts of our business that operate under one roof. So bringing those all together for that omni-channel experience was what we were looking for. And last of all, we really wanted to connect our financial data to our e-commerce data, to our point of sale data, to our warehouse data and bring all of those things together instead of them being so disjointed in our legacy systems.
That's great. There's so many times we see customers that are very disjointed in their applications and their databases. It's nice that it all comes together in one place. So, did you have any concerns about the multi-state tax requirements from the Wayfair ruling?
Absolutely. This was actually one of our main triggers and why we decided to move from our legacy system that we had. When that Wayfair ruling came down in June of 2018, we had to quickly determine how to implement the changes for our remote sales. And we did some research and ultimately decided to go with Avalara as our tax software company. And we later found out, though, that our legacy system would not easily integrate with Avalara. And so the costs were substantial to integrate that. So when we did select Avalara, we knew that Avalara tied into many systems we may be looking at down the road. And so it was amazing when we were finally able to get into NetSuite and have that connection or that connector between Avalara and NetSuite. A process of reconciling our sales tax would take upwards of 3 days of time back in the old legacy system, and that's really cut down to a few hours to be able to reconcile and get all of our stuff done and have Avalara file our returns. So it's been a huge cost savings and really has eased a lot of the sales tax burden for our company.
All right, anything to add to that?
I guess, like I said, the Wayfair ruling and sales tax was kind of the last big compliance change that sort of hit our business that really made us evaluate the benefits of a centralized ERP system that can, quote unquote, move with the times. And we really thought NetSuite was that cloud-based system that could do that for us and bring together all of our current just disjointed systems, for fulfillment and everything I mentioned, e-commerce, inventory, our CRM, fulfillment process, all of that.
Yeah, it was really, I'll add to that, was really, with our old system, one of the big disadvantages to it, I guess, if you will, it was that all the compliance is coming down in the last 6-8 years. And it was becoming more and more of a struggle to stay up. And NetSuite, that's one of the things that attracted us to them is that, they were always looking at improving the product and staying up with the times. And we just knew a time came, we just had to make a change. So.
Excellent. Yeah, I've gone through that in my past in the sporting good company where the software just wasn't doing what it needed to do. And I know we went through huge evaluation and had to go through some of the same processes you did to pick a new software. So, what were your goals for the new ERP?
We really were looking for centralized data and systems, connecting all of our channels into, one location, and then really having that data available at our fingertips where we can mine it easily and, easily access it. We also wanted to reduce accounting time to close our books and also reduce the amount of manual journal entries that we were doing. And so one of the greatest benefits with NetSuite was that all of the accounting entries, a lot of that is completely automated into how everything works. So instead of manually posting, our inventory stuff on a daily basis into our accounting system, it automatically all does it right in NetSuite. So we've really been able to cut down time there and really tie our accounting system into the rest of our operations, which was obviously, me being the accounting manager, was an amazing thing for us. And then last of all, we really wanted to be able to monitor, those KPIs. And we're still, I think, in the process of dwindling down which KPIs, we want to be looking at. And it's been a work in progress, but we found that a great advantage as well.
Well, I think when you get to doing things that you want to do for your business rather than what you have to do to stay in business, you start looking at the data. And one of the things we really wanted to get to is that one truth in data. And not have these disjointed systems where, really depending on who you were, you could paint a picture that you wanted the picture to be, rather than just looking at the same data and seeing the picture that we all need to see so we can make better decisions. in a real time way, not just waiting till later and then, oh, now we could try this again down the road. So to be able to make decisions quicker too.
Yeah, definitely. The real-time data, I think, has helped a lot of companies where they had systems before that just didn't provide the real-time data, so you can actually look and see what's happening with your business at the time, and looking at your accounting and where are you sitting for the day or for the week or month. So
sure.
Yeah. Why did you decide to go with NetSuite and use BTM as your implementation partner?
When we looked at NetSuite, we definitely knew we needed some changes, and NetSuite just really provided the opportunities that we needed, and it was very configurable and customizable, and they had a lot of partners that you could plug in to do different things. So really it gave us a lot more potential to do some things, and we're still realizing that potential. I think you always will, because it's something that's always changing, and we're really excited about that. So that it just was really attracted to us in that way, and they had been around for a while. They're one of, maybe the leading, ERP cloud solution, and we didn't choose it because we wanted a cloud solution, but because of when we implemented into this whole thing called COVID. Hate to mention the C word here, but that became evident that the cloud solution actually helped us in that way, that we were able to work from home and so forth, which in our old system really was a lot more of a challenge. So that was an added bonus. And then going with an implementer ended up really being a no-brainer. We talked to more of our people, and I will reiterate, you need to have an implementer to help you with this. If you think you can do it on your own, maybe you're just lying to yourself, because you really need people that have gone through it before. And I put in other systems before here at Bronner's, but again, it's a big challenge, and you need people to help keep you on task, and also people that have been through it before with NetSuite. And BTM was the person that we ended up choosing, obviously, and that was a great choice. We said that was worth it all the way. They just helped keep us on track. That just the partnership from day one, and the perspective you guys brought to it, or BTM brought to it, was really invaluable to us. So we really appreciate that.
BTM shares in a lot of our same qualities that we have here at Bronner's, and we were able to easily recognize that very quickly. And so we've spent, a long-term relationship with them. They've been truly a great partner for us.
Great. Can you speak to your experiences with BTM so far? Have you done any customizations with them, or anything else about the partnership?
Yeah, for sure. We always look for long-term partnership relationships. It doesn't mean that you're going to get in with an implementer and have that relationship forever, but maybe you will, because maybe there's projects down the road that beyond implementation, and you guys are continuing to help us with those, and we love that. And in being very proactive, if you will, and suggesting things to us, because you've been through maybe similar situations and can suggest things, and that's been really valuable to us. And we have done, I'm going to say many customizations, but customizations to our website, just to the platform itself, that have been really helpful. And we couldn't really done it without you, and you're helping us learn too as we go, and what's even possible to do. So we really appreciate that.
Great. Can you talk about what improvements you might have seen since go live? I think it's been 18 months that you've gone live. Have you discovered any benefit that you didn't originally anticipate?
Yeah, so we really had to streamline accounting processes and reduced our manual journal entries. And although I saw that we really, thought NetSuite would do that for us, I don't think I really realized how much it would do until we got into actually, using the system and being live with it. One of our favorite feature is just the ability to do corrections on the fly on a basis. We sometimes have a lot of corrections we have to make at our POS, or just basic corrections in the system. It's very forgiving when people make mistakes, and so we find that a very easy process to make corrections. And obviously the automated reconciliation of sales tax that's available between Avalara and NetSuite, where I can push a button and it runs a reconciliation on hundreds of thousands of items for me, is just amazing. And then I just get to focus on the things that don't balance. There's so many options available. We're trying to pivot to accommodate, all the environmental and changes and compliance changes, and the flexibility of NetSuite allows us to adapt to those things, which is really important to us. One of our goals too was becoming more paperless, and we are seeing that NetSuite is reducing the amount of paper we handle, which is good. We hope to have more of that down the road, but so far we've made good strides there. And then NetSuite really opened our eyes to the possibilities of, additional changes to our business processes. So, the way the system flows didn't always match a business process we had, but it really made us think, okay, does our business process that exists make sense? And could we change it to adapt to the system and be more efficient?
That's great. BTM, we use NetSuite for ourselves also, and we've realized a number of the same automations for the accounting processes, and it's just streamlined our business processes when it comes to the accounting area. Let's talk a little bit about Suite Commerce websites. At the go live, there was just a retail site, and I believe, have you added any other sites since then?
We have, we took a big bite to go live. We took on a lot of things, and I wouldn't necessarily suggest that right away, but we did make it happen, and we had our retail site up and going, and that was the thing we had to do, have that online, which we did, and that's still going today. And then beyond that, we had two other sites to worry about, and that was a commercial site and a wholesale site. They both had their own unique things that they had to be able to do with logging in and so forth. And BTM is helping us with that. Now the commercial site did launch a few months ago, and that's going really well. And so we said we try to do this one bite at a time. So we did commercial, and then we segued to wholesale. And we weren't able to get that launched for this busy season. We just got into our busy season, like a lot of the businesses that are listening. This is a busy time of year, and we're busy putting out fires, and we just couldn't get that launched in time. And that's on the docket as a next thing to do after the first of the year, is get our wholesale site up and going.
That's great. So you got two sites live and the third coming soon. How will having all three sites up on Suite Commerce improve things for Bronner's?
Well, I think before they were very disjointed, like we used that word already, but we had different platforms for different ones, and we had to bring the data into our ERP system at the time, and a lot of it, there was even manual entry involved. So with being in with NetSuite, everything is flowing. Since it is NetSuite, everything is flowing there. There's still interaction that has to happen. There has to be, commercial still has to reach out to their customers for certain things, and wholesale will too. But the data's there. It's already in the system. That's really helped us. And then we really haven't spoken a lot about inventory, but that was one of the big things too, with having virtually 5 businesses running under one roof, that we always had a pain point of inventory and inventory control in 5 different sectors competing for that same inventory, in different hands reaching into the pot, so to speak. So what NetSuite was able to allow us to do with Suite Commerce as well, is to have better control or insider view into that inventory, where it was at any given time. And we put things in place to better control that, so we know where the inventory is flowing. Like in our old system, we never had the available versus on hand inventory. That there was just on hand, and it was there till it was sold. So we kind of lost sight of some of the product along the way, where it was. And because of that, we'll be honest here, and we oversold sometimes online, which is a big no-no. We didn't want to do that, because the online, remember, being segregated, it didn't have insight into what was available at any given time in our store. So now we have that link there, and that we can control that much better.
Great. How do you envision NetSuite and BTM Global to enable future growth for you guys? Now that you've gotten a taste of what NetSuite can do, Are there any other features or improvements you'd like to use that you haven't originally intended to use?
Yeah, so we're using our real-time data to align our processes to what, the data is showing us, will certainly be part of what's going to drive our future growth and plans. So that's great. Like we said earlier, just bringing everything together in that centralized database, using that data, we're really going to work on that. BTM Global will continue to support, our needs and implement any custom items and facilitate any projects for us. We just don't have the manpower to ever do it on our own. So BTM's been a great, partner to take on things. And, there's some things we could do internally that we know how to do, but we just don't have the time. So it's great having a partner like BTM that works with us. So we will continue, we signed an agreement to use them as our implementers, and we're still using them, every day as we're making tweaks. And so we look at that as a long-term relationship to only help us get better. And, we're looking forward as NetSuite continues to grow their product and make enhancements. That's really exciting to us. We went to Suite World in October, and, it was just exciting to be there and hear about all the new things NetSuite is doing. And that's what we enjoy, is that we're with, a company that's going to continue to improve and work, with the future as times are changing, and help us meet our, customer needs in the future. And then some of the kind of things coming up sort of is integrating our bank activity directly into NetSuite for our reconciliations. So I'll be looking at that here in the coming year, and hopefully we want to get something going there so we can make that more an automated process. There's a new link to pay on invoices that we want to look into adding, and just keeping up on the NetSuite enhancements and planning for how we can integrate those into our business and become more efficient is kind of an ongoing thing. As more things come at us, we try to build that into our processes as much as we can.
I think that's a great thing with NetSuite, that it's got the flexibilities and they keep enhancing the products. So there's always new things to look at as new releases come out twice a year, and being able to utilize some of the new functionality, it makes you think of more efficient ways or productive ways that you can use the enhancements that are coming out. So that's great. Any big plans for the coming year?
Oh, we've got lots of plans. We've really entered, our kind of phase 2, as we call it. We're trying to optimize now. So there's a lot of things we're going back and relooking at. We've had, departmental meetings. We're still some of the pain points that we can help with, and how we can accomplish that. And then, of course, we want to launch our wholesale website. That's really, kind of on the first of the year docket there. And then we also entered into the beta testing program with the SCI's in store, which is kind of like what's in the store website with the POS. So that's kind of exciting too, to see what's coming there.
That's great. Well, I want to thank Jill and Scott very much for presenting today. We're going to now go to the Q&A section, and I'll pass that over to Haley to let us know if there's any questions that have been logged by our audience today.
Perfect. Thanks, Armin. And thanks, Jill and Scott. Great insights from you guys throughout this interview. And I know a lot of our attendees probably have some great takeaways. So thanks for sharing your experience. As a reminder, we do have about 3 minutes left. So if you have any questions for Jill or Scott or Armin, please submit those in the chat, and I'll be keeping an eye on those. First question goes to you, Scott. Any advice for companies looking to change their systems?
The biggest advice, looking back, hindsight's 2020, right? But looking back, is to know your business processes, really know them inside and out, and knowing what the right questions to ask, and don't assume anything. I think we made some of those mistakes, and we assumed some things that just, well, that's the way it is, And so then we got kind of caught up in some of those, but know your processes.
Thanks, Scott. And then I think we have time for one more, which I will pass over to Jill. Jill, knowing what you guys know now, would you have done anything differently throughout this entire evaluation project and implementation?
Yes. How about not having a pandemic in the middle of trying to go live with a new system? Oh gosh, well, that's nothing we had control over, right? So that was, I think, one of our biggest challenges that we ran into, and our store was physically shut down. for when we were supposed to go live. And so it just trying to get everybody back physically so that we could do training was difficult. And we probably would have had a lot, training, a lot more training and a lot more of it. Our training didn't necessarily go well because we had to have someone up on a screen remotely training people. And it was just hard to do that. So just lots and lots of training. I don't think we did enough of it. We still talk about how we wish we would have done more. And then also, like Scott mentioned, just understanding all your business processes and understanding why we do the things that we do. And we thought we knew things inside and out, but when we really got down and dirty with some departments and processes, we didn't really know anything, and we had to kind of tweak along the way.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know what I was going to say now. Go ahead.
No matter how hard you try, some things you're just not going to find until you go live. And we found a lot once we went live, and we're such a seasonal business that it's hard.
Yeah.
In March, it's not the same thing as it is in November in the thick of things for us. So just trying to, once you have that volume, you run into more issues, and then you have to kind of,
right,
push things up as you go along.
I'll just throw this in there too. Two of the biggest challenges that we've saw too, that we were told we were going to see, and we did, are your data, your current data, and getting what you want to get into NetSuite. That's one of your bigger challenges. So you want to get started. Your implementer will tell you this, but get started day one on that. And then user adoption. And I thought of that because of what Joe was saying about the training. And that training is such a huge part in user adoption. And not just maybe the training you get from your implementer, from NetSuite, but do your own internal training and make people part of the process. If you can make people part of that process and they have input into it, that's huge.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Joe. I think a lot of what you just mentioned is something we hear from a lot of customers. Get your employees across departments involved early, even throughout the evaluation, so you can make your go live smoother. We are out of time, so thanks again, everyone, for joining. Thank you to our great panelists and customer Brauners for all of your insights today. As I mentioned at the beginning, this conversation was recorded, so we'll share that out with you all once it's available. And then make sure you keep an eye out for your $15 e-gift card and check out some cool Christmas items from Bronner. Thanks, everybody, and have a great holiday season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.